This town.
Well, hey, what is up, everybody? I got some echo going on. Let's see here. All right, hopefully y'all can hear me. Let me know in the comments. No Ashley tonight. She's feeling a little under the weather. But real quick, we're going to go straight to the, let's see. I don't usually do this. All right, good luck, guys. This is for all the members. Cody Daniel. All right, congratulations. You are the member winner. We'll be giving some more stuff away. All you gotta do is hashtag line in the comments. How do I get rid of this? There we go. So all you gotta do is hashtag line into the comments, and that will put you in for a chance to win. So I'm not gonna let you guys know what you've won. That's gonna be kind of a surprise. I'll definitely be throwing a lot of the new products that we have coming out into those prize packs. So we got you down. Why is this not working? Oh, there we go. There we go. All right, let's see. Cool. Yeah, so line into the comments. Hopefully y'all can hear me. Let me know. Yeah, no Ashley tonight, but we're going to be getting into the side panel of the bagger. Go ahead and pop that up there. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, so basically, if you remember from last week, you can go back and rewatch our week. We did a cover, a lid, and then the week before, and I think actually the week before that we did the saddle bag as well. Was the silver leaf we added to that. So if you have any questions about the process on the other parts that we have for this bagger, let me know, or you can just look them right up on they're saved in the library on YouTube there. So feel free to check that out. We'll get right into this. I don't know how many questions I'm going to be answering tonight. But let's see who we got on here. We got Wade, Brown, what's up? Bubba, Roman, John, Lewis, Bubba, Austin, hey, what's up, man? The bike looks great, by the way. Looks really good. Seriously impressed with that. You should be stoked about that. I mean, I remember my first few paint jobs that I did that were in the metal flake and candy paint, and sometimes you just can't believe what you're able to do. You know, you just a little bit of practice, and things don't need to be perfect. Some of those little imperfections, they're really hard to see. So if you do have them, just don't point them out to anybody, and you'll be fine in most cases. Who else? We got Fat Lack. We got some people weathering through the storm here. Dorkosaurus. Yeah. Anyways, I want to give a shout out also to Parrish for this Call John hashtag shirt. He was a sponsor to tonight's winner. Cody won. So, all right, enough talking. Let's get to it. Solo layout. Any questions? I'll try to answer them. I don't really think that I can go through all these. Let's see if I can maybe take some of the last ones. You'll have to re-answer if you want. Okay. All right, we're getting right into it. So like always, I start with the 1/8 inch. You can start with the 1/8 inch or the 1/4 inch. Usually I like to start with the larger size. And let me go ahead and show this in the picture real quick. I can show you what we're matching this up to. Once again, you can go back and rewatch the live to that we did painting this. Wow, this is backwards. But yeah, basically you can go back, watch how we did this, the way we laid it out, but you can see some of the patterns right here. We did the lace, we did the sun rays, and obviously the silver leaf around. But some of these patterns we're going to replicate, even though we can't fit them all onto the piece, the side panel that we're doing. We're going to kind of just take pieces away of what we've done so far. We'll probably be implementing both of these into the side cover, and then kind of see how it goes, see what we have room for, basically. And then I'll show this lid real quick. The lid doesn't have leaf on it yet, but you can see where we were at last week on this lid, so that kind of matches up. We still plan on doing the silver leaf into this strip right here. So when I do lay out the fine line, I do plan on, you know, kind of what's going to go where. Not necessarily every color I'm going to do or every pattern I'm going to do everywhere. I just kind of just line it out and then kind of build off of that. But when it comes to a strip of silver leaf, I usually do plan that out. So yeah, like I said, silver leaf will go all the way around this edge right here. So easy enough. We're just going to take the side cover. We're going to take the 1/8 inch. How do I get rid of that? Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get rid of my comment here on the screen. There we go. All right, all better. Sorry about that. Okay, you can see I kind of actually already did plan out and lined out a little bit of this right here. Let me get some glass cleaner on this. Okay, I got the 1/8 inch. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to line out. Maybe I'll bring this to a point right here. That's what I'll do. Take this to a point. So that's where I'll start, because the other one will come out and we'll trim it right there. We'll just trim that. Okay, so we got a point here, and then it just kind of bends around those corners. Make sure those are locked down really good. And then before I even move to the 16th, I get all of the 1/8 inch done, or the 1/4 inch, whatever the biggest size you're going to use. And then just kind of accent it with the 16th. So I'll keep it on going with the 1/8 inch. So I'm shooting for about 3/4 to 1 inch to kind of match up to what we got on the other parts. Just like that. Okay, easy enough. It's a good place to start. All right, let's go ahead and we'll just edge out kind of the very outside edge of the side covers here, and maybe just kind of shoot for maybe an 1/8 inch off of that edge. So something like that. That way it can roll around this edge right here with no problem. Still barely hitting that. There we go. Should we press down that inside corner really good? Okay, looking good. And like always, before we bring it back into this other line, we do need to trim that back to where it's straight. Cool. So we got the whole perimeter kind of lined out right there. We got the center, the outside. What we'll do here is same thing as well. Maybe we'll try something like this. So we're shooting to make this even right here. This thickness the same across. And then can that one come all the way? No, let's bring this one down to follow this style line right here. Something like that. It seems to flow good with that part. You could even just bring this straight up and then those, maybe I can bring that a little bit farther. But like I was saying, you could bring this straight up and then cut in a straight line right there to make it look a little different. I'm going to bring this out just a little bit farther. Okay, I like that better. Cool. That has a nice little tail to it. I'm okay with that. All right. Let's see right here. What we'll actually do is maybe a straight line there. Maybe right there. Maybe a little straighter than that. Let's do better. There we go. This one's a little off too. That line kind of dips down just a little bit. It's okay. It's okay. It's not going to be, like I said, some of these, if you critique it too much, I mean, if your line was like really wavy, it could be an issue, but little stuff like this, nobody's ever going to know, and they don't know if you meant to do it or not. I know I talked to Austin, saw his paint job, and same thing. I mean, I've talked about it before. If you ever run across any kind of issues or errors that you have, you can always, it's not the end of the world. You can always change up your graphics a little bit to compensate for that, for those little errors. And that's exactly what he did. And I've done that so many times in the past. I've ran my flake before, and it kind of creates like a sag where it looks kind of. I mean, if you've been there, you know it. A sag in the flake is going to cause like a different kind of look. But if you do lace in that panel, say like you had a sag right here, if you were to lace this out, you wouldn't be able to see that anymore. It's going to kind of blend in. So yeah, sometimes with your errors, you can just use your graphics to your advantage. Okay, let's see here. Right here, we'll actually do the same thing. We'll do one more. Let's see, right here, we'll do that. Okay, that seems to fit well. We're going to let that just dip right out from underneath the side cover there. We'll trim that here in a second. But I feel like we still need... This is not too bad. This could come up there like that too. It doesn't necessarily have to drop. Let me look at this real quick. Huh, I kind of like how it does that though. I'm gonna actually try it the other way and then see which way I like better. So I'm just gonna take the same piece of tape and then just roll it this way and let it dip into there. That was my other option I was thinking. Now I'm looking at that, I think I might like that better. I mean, it was all good either way, but this is what I kind of had in mind at first, and that's probably what I'm going to go with. This area right here absolutely needs something to break it up a little bit, but other than that, this is looking good. We'll do something in there. All right. So yeah, let's just panel this area out. It looks like we have a style line here, and then we do have kind of the edge where it folds over. So let's do that. Let's just go. Let's go right here off of this. We'll let that one kind of just probably come right down into that. Let's see what it looks like. Maybe like, oh, right there. Let's do that. Okay. All right, I think I'm good with that. This maybe could have. I don't know if I like that. I'm gonna pull that. No big deal. I didn't like how those lines didn't run together. I feel like I'd be better off following the same thickness here. Even if it's a little thicker, like right there. I think that's a better option right there. And then we might be able to just bend this corner and see if that looks like. I don't like the bent corner. then it'll come to a point right there. So yeah, that's the great thing about fine line tape is you can just pull off the tape if you don't like something and try something else until you create something that your eye likes, something that flows good with the part. Okay, I'm liking it. All right, that's it for the 1/8 inch. Go ahead and lay out, and we're gonna follow up these lines with a 16th inch. So let's go. I just like to do one of the sides. This is really easy to do. I'm just aiming for about an 1/8 inch to about a 16th inch away. Try to keep them even. All right, let's not forget about this guy right here. I gotta trim that up. There. Same thing here, just choosing one side of the line. I'll go ahead and round that corner. What the heck? Yeah, I like that. Okay, looking good. Same thing here. I'm just going to go on the inside. Usually I would never run the 16th inch on the inside of where I plan on doing the leafing, which is this strip right here. I'll just leave that solid line. I mean, you could, but then you're going to have to tape that off. It's all preference. I just feel like it's easier to do it this way. Okay. Yeah, very nice. Do the same thing here, just on the inside. Trimming them up. There we go. Okay, we're going to leave. Let's see. Are we going to leave that outside one? Nope, we're going to go ahead and do that as well. Let's right here. Usually I like to start the tape where there's already going to be a cut in if possible. If not, you just bring it into the same line like we've been doing. Just like that. All right, make sure you guys hashtag Lime into the comments because I'm going to be spinning that wheel. So if you haven't done it yet, hashtag Lime into the comments. We got that. I think we got one more. Just the top right here. You can see we kind of bordered everything out. We'll just do the inside of the top real quick. There we go. Put that one a little funky. There we go. Okay. All better. Make sure some of these corners are all pressed down really good. We don't want them coming up while we're painting. All right. All right, all is good. All is good. We're halfway through. Let's go ahead and spin that wheel. Present. Ha. Pardon me while I figure this out again. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Sorry, guys. I think we got it here. Okay. Good luck. Chris Wahlberg. Congratulations. You won some. It's going to be a surprise, actually. So whatever you win, it's going to be a lot of the new stuff that we have coming out, but it'll be a surprise. So you'll have to send us an email at info@limelinepaintsupply.com, Chris Wahlberg, and let us know that you won, and we will get that right out to you. All right, let's get back to it. Yeah, sorry, Ashley's, like I said, Ashley's not here tonight. Can't really answer the questions. So yeah, if anybody else has any questions, I'm sure there's other peeps in the chat that will be able to help you out. They've been around here long enough and they kind of know what they're doing by now. So yeah, ask away. Maybe they can help you out. But for now, well, let's get back to the side cover. All right. So I'm gonna get some black base coat mixed up. I'm using the Harbor Freight Avante airbrush again. So far, so good on this thing, man. I really, for $26, this is the, I know I say it every week. If you're new and you have a lot of stuff to buy, which you do, this is a good airbrush that's going to get you by, and you're going to be able to do what you need to do. Even if you are getting into murals and stuff like that, I feel like this can still achieve that. It's not as comfortable as like the Micron and the Eclipse is obviously there's better brushes out there, but for the money, this is going to do it. So if you're on a budget, if not, step it up to an Eclipse. This is probably pretty close to the quality of a Neo. Maybe not quite, but there's still a pretty big price gap. I think a Neo alone is maybe 2.5 times the price of this. And being at Harbor Freight, I think everybody really has a Harbor Freight, right? You can go down there, hit it up. Sometimes they're $30, sometimes they're $25, sometimes they're $20. So pick up one, pick up two. That's what I usually do. And they'll last me about 3 to 6 months. It depends on how I treat them. All right, so black base coat. You can also be using black candy. Black candy might be a better option with this, but like I said before, we've already painted a lot of these parts of this bagger with black base coat. The difference isn't that huge. Um, yeah, the black candy kind of does show the sparkle a little better. But if we would have had that, then that's what we would have done it with. But black base coat, it is for this. We're not trying to do it all in one coat. We're just aiming straight in between the lines right here and letting it fade off. See how it's just fading both ways? And if you get a little crazy and it kind of gets a little wacky out here, you can always build up and fade out the line a little more as well. No problem with that. I thickened up the paint just a little bit. I noticed right here when I was spraying it, it started to separate a little bit. I don't know if you can kind of covered it already. But if the paint is too thin, you'll see that the air kind of pushes the paint away, and that's what you don't want. You can either one, turn down your air pressure, or you can thicken up your paint a little more. So you can do one of those two things. And I've talked about this before, how both air pressure and the thickness of your paint, they're both relevant to each other. With thick paint, you need higher pressure to be able to spray that out. And if you were to take that same high pressure and put in a really thin paint, it would want to blow out and blow away. But if you were to lower your air pressure, that thin paint would probably be just fine. It just has too much pressure behind it, and it's wanting to blow it out. So, if your paint's too thick, maybe try upping your air pressure or thickening your paint. Those, like I said, those two things are relevant together. Oh, I had the tape come up a little bit right there on me. As you can see, I saw it right before I got to it. Where am I at? This camera's actually mirrored, so I'm having a really hard time right now. Okay. You see right there how it kind of just came up a little bit. There we go. Now we can see it. So I'm just going to take a razor blade or take a removal blade. And I saw it right before I painted it, so we're all good. Even that one's starting to come up just a little bit. Just going to take that, just kind of press it down. Okay, that looks good.
Okay, it looks like just a couple more. Follow these lines right here. Now, this is not necessary. If you guys can, if you're looking real close, you can see how I'm actually rocking back and forth on the trigger. Basically, I'm going like kind of like same thing you would do with a paint gun. And also making sure that I'm aiming straight down at the tape. You don't really want to be, unless you're wanting a really nice fade going one direction. Say like I wanted all this to be a really thick fade, then aiming this way and letting the overspray kind of follow into that panel there, that would do that. But other than that, when we're just following these panels, you want to be straight up and down with the tape surface, aiming straight for the center of those two fine line tapes. Oh, a little wet right there. All right. So far, so good. All right. Doesn't look like much right now, but we'll be getting into it. Let's double check all of our tape lines, make sure we got good enough coverage here. A little bit right there. Okay. Awesome. All right. So now that we got all the lines edged out, we're going to go ahead and decide what design we want to put in what panel. Even if we do want to put in a design, we don't necessarily even have to. It would look fine just like this. But you can do anything from filigree to fish scales to sunrays and lace. What we'll be doing on this one. You can just do a one-way fade with some tape. You can do endless lines, lotus leaves. There's just the options are, bubbles. There's just a lot that you can do. Honeycomb. A lot of this stuff you can just fill these panels up, or the really the key is I feel like is not to overdo it. I feel like when I first started painting, I kind of wanted to do every trick in the book on one project. That's the problem, and it just ends up being really busy. And these paint jobs are actually pretty busy as they are, just by themselves. So sometimes the little subtle things are nice. And also consider if you're putting red candy or a dark candy over everything, then it's going to subtle things out as well. So a lot of times you have to have the end result in mind, what exactly you're going to do. But this is going to look great for what we're doing. A couple of subtle panels and we're good to go. So we're going to do the sun rays. Really, we're just going to need to choose what panels is going to go where, what will fit the best, and match up well with the other parts that we have already painted. We did talk a little bit last episode about designing baggers. A lot of times people are trying to, and I know I did this in the past when I first started, and thankfully panel paint came around again and got popular because this panel paint makes it easy to be able to line up your parts, because you really don't you don't need a straight line of graphics like they used to do back in the days with baggers. It would be like a straight line that kind of went all the way through and then into the bag. So they would have to like mock it all up perfect and measure out lines and so at a certain angle it looks like all the panels mesh up. But with this kind of paint job, you really don't need that. All you need to do is just have everything match up. Usually I'll start with the tank, create the design with the tank, and then since the tank is so big and so round, you have a lot of surface area for graphics. So if you start with the tank, you're going to have all the graphics that you're going to need for the other parts as well, because we if you have sun rays on like the little back chunk of the tank, well, you can always implement that same design into the rest of the parts. Same thing with the lace, same thing with the silver leaf that we're doing, the border we're doing around everything. So that way it's all it all kind of matches up. The designs are all similar. A lot of times when the parts are smaller, you're just doing a scaled down version of what you did on the tank. Maybe just what you did on the side of the tank, or maybe part of the top of the tank. So you can't get everything on every part. So you just kind of work with what you got and what looks best. All right, let's grab this. We'll grab the Limeline 1.5 inch yellow masking. So, okay, so right there, we're going to do just the one-way fade. I know that because that's going to match up what we got. If we did the sun rays, we would want to choose what corner would look the best. I can already tell by looking at it, this is probably our best bet because we're going to be able to start here and move up. And I feel like having a fan pattern that kind of comes up this way and up into that, it has a good range. If we were to do this corner, I mean, that would look fine too, but you can see it doesn't really like give it, I don't know. This one's better. So this one, same kind of thing, This one actually could work. I think that's the best bet, though. So let's do that. That's what I first had in mind, and that's what I'll go with. Aiming for just the tape and letting the overspray create the fade. So just like that, and then we'll aim it back up exactly where we are on that side, and then this is where we decide our thickness, how thick we want the sun rays. So I like them about that thick right there. So they start thin, and they just kind of bridge out fatter. Once again, aim for the tape, though. See how I'm painting? I'm painting the edge of the tape, and then just the overspray is creating that blend. Roughly matching the thickness. That's a little thicker. That's okay. Ooh, got a little fat on that one. We're fine. Got a little far on that one. One more, maybe? Let's see. See how easy these are. Yeah. We'll just fade that in. Beautiful. Okay. It's looking good. All right, where we at here? We're going to do, let's hit up the lace right up here on top. All right, just going to hold that straight down right there. aiming straight down. I really can't see. Hopefully that's dark enough. Oh, there we go. That works. Okay, I'm happy with that. Let's go ahead and blend this edge just a little bit. That one too. There. That looks good. Let's do this one too. Uh-oh, running out of paint. There. Beautiful. All right, just like I promised, we'll do the one-way fade. Basically, all we're gonna do is just let me take a fine line first. Take a couple pieces of fine line so we can see our thickness. Maybe right there. Okay, so we masked off this side, so we're only going to have a fade on one side of the tape. So it's going to give it a different look. It's not going to give it like the pinstripe look. Just going to be a nice gradual fade right here. That'll work. And just like that. See, we just got the fade on the one side. So it's just going to put a simple stripe down the center of that. And we'll grab a removal blade right here. Let's start revealing what we've got. This is the fun part, really. As long as you don't have paint pulling on you, this is the fun part. Which it should be good. Looking good. Stick around, guys, because before we end this, we're going to go ahead and spin that wheel one more time. And once again, I'm just going to get you hooked up with some. I'm going to get you hooked up with a surprise. You're not going to know until the box comes. We got the outside one right here. Oh, we're going to get this all in one. There we go. One more. Okay, that's it. I think that's going to match up really nice with those other parts. And really all we got left on this is the front fender. And I might do the front fender next week. It's going to be a full fender that kind of wraps around. I think most of you guys are interested in stuff like that. Haven't done a whole lot of bagger parts. This way you can go back, look through the lives, see how it was done, and you can see how and put together your own paint schemes however you want. But not bad for 52 minutes of work. That's not bad at all. You can see how quick and easy that is. All it takes is just a little bit of practice, running your lines, trying to get straight lines. Once again, hovering your tape across the top before you stick it down when you do these straight lines. Because if you just stick it here and then just kind of follow the line, what's going to happen is it's just going to get really wavy. So laying down the line, pushing it down, hovering it, making sure it's straight, matching it up with the negative space next to it, laying it down. Only worry about the big tape to start. Move on to the 16th inch or the 8th inch if you're using 1/4 inch, and bump it down from there. That's just the way I do it. That's not the way you need to do it. But it's a nice way to get a little more fancy with your panel graphics, because it does kind of border it out again with another line. And you can always change up the colors to this. You could throw a candy over this, really. You can throw a candy red over this, purple, blue, whatever, and it would definitely mute out a lot of it. It wouldn't have as much contrast, because the silver and the black have a lot of contrast. But that's enough contrast there that if you were to hit that with red candy, it would still stand out. It'd be more like a murdered out red candy at that point, depending on how dark and how many coats of the candy you spray, because it is transparent. The transparent paint, the more coats you put on there, the darker the paint's going to get and the richer it's going to get. So if you want a really dark, heavy red, more coats. But remember, still, you still got to keep the layers down. Like, you don't want to spray it all at once, especially if you're spraying it with a paint gun. Spray down light layers to begin with, and build yourself up a foundation. That way you're not just pounding on paint really wet all at once, especially on your taped panels. It's just, you're going to have a hard time with that. Considering that we're using an airbrush instead of a spray gun, we're using a lot less paint. I think in this whole side panel, I think I just used a 1.5 cups of airbrush paint. That was it. That's all it took. Because we're just using a little bit of paint, so there's not a whole lot of a paint edge here. That's the advantage of using an airbrush over like a spray gun or a minigun. But it can all be done. You can still use a minigun to do this. Obviously, you're not getting as tight of blends here. And yes, it could work, but it all kind of depends what size of nozzle and stuff. But hey, enough talking. Let's go ahead and
we're going to give away our last prize here. All right, just one last second. You guys can go ahead and hashtag Lime into the comments if you just came aboard. That'll give you a chance to win here. Share screen. Okay, here we are. All right, Chris Wahlberg was our last winner. Who we got next? All right, good luck, everybody. Mayan, 34.95.6. Congratulations, you won. Shoot us a email, info@limelinepaintsupply.com. Let us know that you won, and you will get your surprise package out. But that's it. That's it real quick. I'm going to go over. Anybody have any questions, go ahead and put them in real quick. But that's going to be the end of the episode. I'll just kind of answer anything that we might have pretty short. This we're under an hour. Look at that. All right, let's check this out. Anybody got any questions? Just let me know. Just re-ask them. New comments. Here we go. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, Ashley's just feeling a little under the weather. I don't know what the heck. She'll be better next week. All right. Zane asks, what pressure are you spraying your flake at? I just did an Impala steering wheel with 0.008 and 0.015 flake in line clear base. Yeah, I wound up sweeping 90% off the floor. Yeah, that's kind of how it goes. I like to use lower pressure. There's no real reason to use high pressure. The reason why you wouldn't really want to use low pressure in most cases is because you don't want to create the orange peel that low pressure creates. But here's the thing: we're spraying flake. We're creating all kinds of orange peel, so it really doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter if you have low air pressure. I try to not make a mess out of my booth and lower air pressure. Sometimes I even lower that fan pattern down just a little bit. That way you're not throwing a big fan pattern everywhere. Get a little bit closer, turn the air pressure down. You can get away with a lot when it comes to flake. Just don't run it. Just don't run the flake. We kind of talked a little bit about that. But if it happens, it's not the end of the world. You can probably fix it. Well, I know you can fix it. Just how hard it's going to be to fix it. Let's see who else. Oh, you missed Ashley. I know, me too. It's just not the same. No leafing tonight. Probably need leafing next week because I know I need to do those lids and the side covers. So, maybe we'll have another leafing episode. I do have my buddy that's going to be coming on this week or next week or the following. I'm going to kind of try to teach him. He's never custom painted ever before, and I'm going to see if I can get him to lay out something cool within an hour and a half or so for his first time. Yeah, hit that like button. Appreciate that. All right, yeah, so it looks like there's not too many questions. Let me go back to the who did you watch to help build your skill? So I'm a painter for almost 20 years now. Back in the days, I watched a lot of Ed Hubs on YouTube because he was really the only one kind of putting them out back then. More of the basic stuff like lightning and fire and other graphics like that, scrollies and stuff. Who else? There was I did take some the online. I did like the online YouTube stuff, but also the in-person classes seem to help a ton. I've taken some classes from Marissa Osterly, Drew Blair. I'm not, not painting anything close to their level. I can do murals and stuff like that, but you kind of have to do it a lot in order to stay really good at it. But I surprise myself sometimes. But yes, in person. Also, I was lucky enough to have the Ultimate Air Fair right here down in Salt Lake City, down at the Asset Warehouse, and they were able to bring in guys like Craig Frazier. I'm trying to think of some of the other names. Hispanic guy, come on. Martinez. My brain's not working today. Matheson is another one from Hawaii. Yeah, they were able to bring a lot of the big name guys in there. Show us your tats. All right, Mike. Hey, today's a lucky day. I just got I actually just got waxed today for the second time in my life. I feel like a naked chicken right now. It's kind of cold in here, actually. But who's here got their whole upper body waxed before? It's quite the experience. Let me tell you, I feel like a baby right now. It's great. I'm gonna sleep so good. Can you put number 4 flake in black to make it like metallic? Yes, that actually it does work. You can do that. You can put flake or any kind of flake really into black, and it will turn it into like a midnight sparkle black. However, you try to put flake in red or white or any other color, it does not work, and I don't know why. It still blows my mind how this works. Why does it work in black and it doesn't work like in white? If you were to put flake in white, like mix it straight up in the color, it's going to drown out the flake and it's going to make it look grainy. Not good. You put flake into black, completely different story. It's a weird thing. It just really is. It works well. There's more than one way to do it, though. I mean, my personal opinion, how I would do it, I would spray the black base coat, and if I wanted just a little bit of sparkle on the black, I would just put a little bit of that into clear base coat and spray a light coat over the black. So that way, and just misting it on really light. That's another way to do it. So you don't actually have to mix those two together. If you're putting it on top of, if you're mixing them with a color rather than black, you can always do that. Like I said, you can put it in a clear base coat and put it on top. But you can't mix it into an actual color, but you can mix it into black. That's a great question. And I don't know why that is. Maybe somebody knows. But still blows my mind sometimes, like why stuff works and doesn't for other stuff. Yeah, thank you. I'll let her know. Parrish's booth is a mess. That's like my booth. It needs a paint job. Thanks, Big Papa. Appreciate that. What size flake for a .5 gun can you spray? 0.5 gun. Interesting. Not very big. I would say just a coarse base coat, silver base coat would be the most out of a 0.5. I want a trigger brush versus Black Widow trigger. I would take the Iwata trigger over the Black Widow. I would take the Iwata over any of the Black Widows now that I've kind of run through them. I'm not super impressed with what you get. Yes, you do get you get extra needles and sizes, and the fan pattern does not work on that. I'm telling you, it just does not work. I don't know if the design is bad. The regular cap style with the round cap, that works fine. But I don't know. I feel like the Black Widow it's tried too many bells and whistles with it, and it's just not. They already have the Avante that does the job, and it's still a third of the price. So I think I would still go with that, in my opinion. Okay. I think that's it. Let me check back at the. When did you know it was time to do this full time? Oh, that's a great question. And how ready did you feel? Well, I didn't feel like I was ready. No. It's kind of like just a sink or swim kind of thing. You just kind of have to just do it. You're going to run into some hard times. It'll just going to make you grind harder. I mean, if you're going to start, obviously, it'd be nice to have a couple of jobs ready to go. If you were to start full time as a motorcycle painter, to be honest with you, the best time to start would be after the holidays, January, February. That way you can start because it gets really busy come March, April, May. Everybody wants their parts done. if you can build up a little bit of a customer backlog to get you through into, and once again, August is going to start slowing down. This is going to be the slower time of year for most custom painters. And this is just what I've kind of noticed. And then what I've noticed from some of my buddies that also custom paint. That's just a slower time of year. I mean, it's slower for the paint supply shops. Less people are thinking about their motorcycles, but once the holidays are over, it's kind of a different story. It'll start picking up during like the third week of January. Putting yourself out on their Instagram, letting people know that your books are open. It's a good way to do that. But yes, it's a hard thing. You just got to do it. If you love it, just do it. And if you feel like you're at that point, just do it. You'll make it through it. What's the least CFM my compressor can push with your 1.4 gun to spray correctly? Oh, so I'll have to get back to you on that. You can always, I don't know all the specs offhand in my mind with that. So if you just want to email us at info@landminepaintsupply.com, I can get you the text sheet on that gun. Is it the 1.4 you're talking about? Okay. Yep. The 1.4 is going to take a little bit more air than the 1.3, obviously. But it all kind of depends on also what you're painting. If you're painting motorcycle parts, you can get away with a lot smaller compressor. All right. One mailbox got me major backlogged. That's true. Yeah, you like Parrish was saying here in this comment that once you get those couple of jobs done, post your work. Don't be afraid to post it to social media. Let people know what you're doing, what you're learning. And then that really, you'd be surprised what word of mouth can do, especially if you're showing up at these bike events and stuff. Because a lot of these Harleys are already are getting older. Less people I feel like are really buying newer bikes. So there's a lot of old Harleys on the road, and they get beat up. And if it's just easier to put a custom paint job on it than it is to redo some of these factory paint jobs. A lot of people just have a harder time doing, to be honest. Some of these like white diamond base coats and stuff like that, they're with no graphics. It's super hard to like not have something happen. Like at least with custom paint, we can rely on hiding things with different methods of shading and changing up graphics and putting stuff here and there. Especially when we have when the customer gives us the okay to be able to kind of do what we want. That's the greatest thing, because if there is little issues that happen, we can always put a highlight there, a shadow there, or just design the design around that. But hopefully I answered that question. I was kind of all over the place on that. Sorry. Does Amazon orders normally take longer to ship for Limeline? No, the Amazon, if you're buying metal flake, tape, or anything like that, it should be 1 or 2 day shipping, because those are filled directly by Amazon and the warehouse there. If it's paint, it's going to be the same as everybody else. It's the closer you are to Utah. I mean, we're kind of pretty close to the center of the United States, so we're getting good shipping time. To California and Texas, takes a little bit longer. In New York, Florida, a little bit longer. All right, looks like that. Painting a bike this winter, turning it down, doing all black. All right. Okay. Ooh, here we go. Did you see that you're selling line tape on Temu? Yeah, I did see that. Thanks for letting me know, Woody. I seen my picture on there the other day from Temu. That's not me. I'd be interested to see what kind of tape you're actually getting. If you're buying line tape on Temu, it's not coming from me. And it's not going to be the same stuff, unfortunately. So, yeah. I didn't know people actually looked at that, but somebody did make me aware of that already, but I do appreciate that. Yeah, if you can flag that for me as well. Also, if you guys bought anything on Amazon, like the wax and grease remover lately, or anything like that, put in a if you like the product, put in a review. Even a photo review is the best thing you can really do for us. We really appreciate that. It helps out so much. And a lot of people have asked, like, what can we do to help support the brand, help support the channel, so we can build on top of this. Really, the best thing, if you bought anything line off of Amazon, throw up a review. Whatever you think we deserve there. Photos help a ton. Like it helps out other customers too, to see what's possible with the products. And it's just a fun thing to kind of contribute into, and your photos get put right up there on the listing. So yes, totally cool with you guys doing that if you want. Oh yeah, gun cleaner, Parrish. Yes, we gun cleaner will be out very shortly. We do have the 1/8 inch and the 1/4 inch green available now, which is right here. Those are the paper tapes. So these aren't going to give you the really crisp line like we used over there with the vinyl, but these are inexpensive. You get 2 rolls for $10 free shipping. I think on eBay right now you can even get them for $8. So you're gonna get 2 rolls for $8, free shipping. You buy yourself a couple of packs if you need. But this stuff is great for you can use them as design tape. However, they don't take the curves and stuff that it needs. Not quite as solid of a line when you go to pull the tape, but these are great for masking off around small, intricate areas. But a lot of people still do and still love this paper masking tape for just basically creating the designs as well. So you can replace it with the vinyl, however, not quite as user friendly. And you can't do as much. Like I said, you're not going to take the sharp corners with that 1/4 inch at all. Parrish says, I owe you a few reviews. All right. Appreciate that. Yeah, I saw that on Instagram. Thank you. All right. Chris Wahlberg, info@limelinepaintsupply.com. Yep. That's, yeah, thanks for putting that up there for me, Tony. That's where you need to email if you've won. Just like everywhere. We're here every Thursday. Every Thursday, 8:05, 8:04. We're here every Thursday. So next week we'll be painting something else. Hopefully we'll have Ashley back on board. And but looks like that's it. Yep. Thank you. Thank you all for being here. And we'll see you next Thursday. Thanks.